man, and we're recording the One's Ready podcast at the 75th anniversary of the Weapons School here with Verde, buff driver, good-looking guy, and a name that's impossible for me to pronounce. So I have a long history on the podcast of just asking the guests right before we go on, hey, how do I pronounce your name? They tell me, and then the first thing that I do on the intro, just completely screw it up. So it was funny when you were telling me how your name, I was like, are you Indian and Greek? There's no way. Those are two cultures that I would never be able to spell a last name. So you got me. How you doing, Verde?
Doing well, man. How are you?
You know what? I'm doing awesome. You know, I had to sneak into this event. It's gorgeous. The history in this room and the folks that are walking around this room are humbling, to say the least. And, you know, you as a 340th Weapons School commander, like buff driver, how has your time been here at the Weapons School?
I mean, it's been fantastic. You know, I'm actually coming to the end of my command time here, and I realized I've gotten 15 classes under my belt at this point.
Holy cow, that's a lot.
You know, as soon as I graduated from the Weapons School, the first thing I wanted to do was actually go back and instruct. I thought it was just fantastic environment. You're elevating your game to the maximum level, and then you're executing like that for the rest of your career at that point. So it's just fantastic experience. I've loved every second of it, and honestly, we're gonna trade it for anything.
Yeah, it's such a unique thing to the Weapons School here is when we talk about being instructors, we talk about it in the pipeline, you know, you're not getting some brand new geek off the street. You're not getting some brand new pilot, some brand new operator of some sort. You're getting an instructor. You're getting somebody that's been recommended by the commander. Your instructors here, I imagine, have to step their game way up to be humble, credible, approachable, those things that patches really, really care about and hang their hat. How challenging has that been for you to lead and guide and mentor those folks that have to really step into the lion's den with the professionals and be that instructor?
That's, you know, it's part of the job. You know, we've talked to our instructors all the time about how do we take an individual, figure out where they're at in their world, from being an instructor, being an officer, being a leader, and how do we figure out how do we elevate their game? What is the things we need to do to look at when trying to provide them so that they leave the house better than they were when they enter? And it's a very, you know, we do it from an individual basis as opposed to just maybe Kuba who's
sure
with this. But so it's very it's a unique challenge. It's a fun challenge. Every class is different. Every person is different. And honestly, to me, it's tiring at times. And then my instructors get a lot of work hours in to try to make these happen.
Oh yeah.
And I appreciate everything they do, and it's fantastic work that they do. And then the end result is always just great, especially in that, you know, about 3 weeks here.
Sure.
See,
right.
See how these dudes are going to be executing the mission that they leave.
Yeah, and the mission has a lot of weight to it, especially where we are in the world today and the things that we're pivoting towards and you know, some of these things that we're trying to orient to in order to solve the nation's problems. I think I use enough buzzwords in there, you know what I mean? I should have included a couple more. Pacing challenge, right, exactly. The prescient threat of one and the pacing challenge of the other. With those things in mind, though, you know, a lot of people are like, hey, when's it going to slow down? What are we looking at next? Do you think it's going to slow down anytime soon? Because I don't feel that way.
I don't think it's going to slow down at all. I think if anything, it's going to ramp up, mostly because we have to elevate our game
You're right.
As an Air Force, there's a joint force. We really have to get after the problem set that that is the Indo-Pacific, right?
Yep.
And so when we look at that challenge and all the array of things that we'll have to do in that theater, it's really honestly something we've never done for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
So we, at least at the 340th, you know, the Weapons School at large, are looking at how do we provide the weapons officers the experience to be able to take all those challenges in that arena so that they have some level of success for the mission, because that's what really matters at the end of the day when we talk about defending national security.
Right. And I mean, we learned all these lessons from 20 years of GWAT, and that's great. But, you know, like what I was just talking with Papa, like you have to shift focus. You can't just, though, you know, it's not, you know, the middle of Afghanistan and cordon call out and operators on the ground as we've done for the last 20 years. And that can be tough. It can be one of those things that we don't, you know, necessarily know how to get after. But that's why we have you at the Weapons School, because it's not only training those pilots, but it's looking at those TTPs. How do we defeat these enemies? What would you say your favorite part about being in the Weapons School is?
Honestly, it's the people between the students and the instructors. As you know, my job as commander, you know, I'm not directly involved with the students. I'm really mentoring those instructors to
sure.
instruct the students.
Right.
And excuse me. And then so really it's getting myself involved in how do I make everybody better than they were when I first met.
Got it.
And how do I elevate their experiences can I bring to their own personal growth, because their personal growth, say they're going to a conference and they don't take or pack out from you and whatever. We're bringing everything back to the syllabus, which is beneficial for the students, but also beneficial for that individual as well. So to me, that's really the best paradigm I've had, is how I find myself as a as a human development is my main task. So how do I develop a human development aspect of sales?
That's fantastic. So what's next for you then?
So I'm gonna go to Northbound after this.
Gorgeous.
Detroit liaison to the Northbound commander. We'll see how that is. I'm not
Okay.
sure what that is. It's Colorado.
Right. Yeah, it sounds fun. Hey, you'll be in the Springs. It'll be great. Were you an academy guy?
I was not. But
Okay, well, good.
I'm a mountain guy, but
Fair enough. You didn't even have to go to that small technical college tucked into the Colorado Rockies. You're fine. Verde, how'd you get your call sign?
that's it.
We can go PG. We can go PG it. I understand. It's one of the things that we're going to ask everybody. So I think we'll just put a disclaimer like this is the watered down PG, most PG version we could get.
Yeah, you'll have to buy me a drink later too.
I got you. It's open bar. I got you all night.
It's actually a mix of two different things. When I was a young lieutenant, it's very calm, cool, collected until you got me some Irish whiskey. Then maybe some couches with.
Gotcha. Fair.
So the Hulk was already taken. So I'm not green, but I'm green inside. So they decided to call me Verde.
I got you. My little brother Danny he was a 60 pilot, a 60 flight lead in the Army, and then he just transferred over to fixed wing. He is a big dumb animal, and he got Hulk because it wasn't taken yet. So that's if you're like a stout dude, it's like, oh great, yeah. What are you gonna call me, tiny?
Yeah.
You know. How about family and stuff? You got family moving with you? Are they excited to go to the Springs?
Yeah, my wife is super excited. My son's super excited. We actually named him Breck, not after Breckenridge.
Okay.
It's Irish for Franklin one.
Fantastic.
And so he's super excited. We've gone since he was born every year once to Colorado. Loves the mountains, loves the snow. So,
yeah.
And we have a husky. So
there you go. It all makes sense. What got you to the Air Force?
Service, honestly. I really got involved right after 2001.
Mm-hmm.
I know all that happened. I'm
Yep.
actually all my way to college.
Okay.
And then we even joined ROTC yet. So in my first year, first thing I did is I looked up the recruiter at ROTC and I said, what can I do?
Yeah.
And so that's why I got in.
What college?
Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute.
Beautiful. What are they? The Cowboys? What are
They're the Red Hawks.
Go Red Hawks.
The hockey team is the Engineers, which is weird.
That is weird. Why?
Out there on the football scholarship.
Okay.
Not too much.
Yeah.
To say, but.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, Verde, thanks for everything you do. Thanks for coming in and serving, and thanks for showing up here at the 75th anniversary of the Weapons School. You're obviously humble, credible, approachable. Thanks for what you did here at the Weapons School, and good luck in your next assignment. We'll see you next time.
Appreciate it. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.